Hello, hello. We're back with Katawa Shoujo. Standing in front of the school. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and grey plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wondered if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course, I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. So I walked towards the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park, with a clean walkway going past trees and the smell of fresh-cut grass and all other park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies, too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kind of eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind, and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. It makes me think about hospitals again. How they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore.
Which is rubbish. Really, come on. If you use a gate to enter into something, you can usually, normally, as a standard, use the same gate to get out again. So if you don't like the school, you can leave tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. It's not like, I don't like this. Oh, now I've crossed the threshold. Reminds me of the Phantom of the Opera. Past the point of no return. There is such a point in some situations. This is not one of them. He's over-dramatizing. But it's just me saying it, not him. It's his feeling, so let's get back into it. Sorry. Feeling nervous, and with this realization set in my head, I open the front door. A tall man with bad posture notices me as I enter. So, not the sports teacher. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. Oh my. Ah! You must be Niki? Nakai. So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Mutao. Welcome.
We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. Well, the head nurse asked you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Waiting for me? Oh, I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow, not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost miss what the teacher is saying. Oh, Choice. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Now, concentrate. Concentrate. We're not only reading this, we're let's playing it. We're playing it, we're acting it. So, I would of course say, Pike, I would say yes, of course. Hey, nobody introduces me but me, alright? I do it myself. It's like nobody who can describe me better than me, which is probably wrong and very arrogant. But hey, I'm not me. I'm Nakai, Hisao Nakai, and he just said he's anxious, he's nervous. From what we've learned, especially the sequence with Iwanako or Iwanako. He's rather shy and not too direct, so he probably would ask, why the question? Why, do I have to? Of course not. That's why I asked. Right. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the classroom for class 3-3. Mutao opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step, I know that. But there isn't any point to worrying so much about it. At least not this soon. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. For a class of disabled students, they all look perfectly alright. I mean, she's got a bandage, which just might be common injury. Alright, he's got a cane, so probably has problems walking. That's Hanako, and I know that she's got second, third, fourth degree burns in her face, which is why she's holding a hand like this. But everybody else, she's got glasses, which is not really a disability. Well, a small nuisance, I guess, but not much more. Yeah, they all look fine. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is unusually high, and there's lots of space left over around and in between the desks. An entire wall taken up by blackboards and the high old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames. Simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school. But then, why should they be here? They're probably like me and I have something wrong with them, only it's just not immediately obvious. Then I notice that one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Well, that's not a big disability either. I mean,
the thumb is the most important finger on your hand. You can't grab very efficiently without a thumb, but still. Oh. Okay, this looks like a real disability. She's got no legs, and she's missing an arm seemingly as well. So this one. And he's got the always being tired disease. Snorkelitis. Alright. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone is looking at me. A girl with really long, straight black hair. Where did I get the black? Oh, because it's Hanako, and in my mind, I know that she has black hair. Okay. Quite sure that must be Hanako. She was the only one with long, straight hair. So, a girl with really long, straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it will make her invisible. Yeah, that's Hanako. There is one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers at me over the rims of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kind of cute. So's the cheery-looking girl with pink hair sitting next to her. Pink hair? That's insane. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands and so does everyone else, except one girl in the first row who has only one hand. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. After the applause, there is a brief silence that nobody seems to want to be responsible for breaking. The teacher soon realizes that he should probably say something. He opens up with some unintelligible noise, shuts up as he loses his momentum, and then starts introducing me. Nobody seems to be too interested. Maybe I should have said yes to the self-introduction thing. Probably realizing he doesn't know anything about me, he just ends up saying my name wrong again and asks me to write it on the blackboard. I do that and turn back to face the class, feeling awkward. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round with her one hand against her other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. Is that her? Or is that a normal arm? It just looks like kind of hanging down. It makes me feel a little bad. We're going to be doing some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She's the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know, and who else would be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignments and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow. The teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh, right. Hakamichi is right there. Shizune Hakamichi.
As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves a hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window.
How can anybody have gold eyes? Come on. That's a little too manga.
Oh well. Dyed hair and very large contact lenses, maybe. Alright, I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. Ha 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 ha! Why is she laughing? What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi, I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi. Shi-chan. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she has been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short yet carefully, neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. Yes, I know. That's sign languages. Sign language. She's making signs to Misha. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, "You'll be able to talk to people," and "Who better to explain things to you?" I can see you're a little confused, right? But I understand why you would think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is obviously her nickname, Hakamichi's nickname. Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. More sign language. You're the new students, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he would have been standing up there for no reason, right? Right. What's wrong with her? Misha looks at me with a weird expression, then continues. We don't know much about him, but maybe we'll find out later. Maybe I should have introduced myself after all. Anything would have given a better first impression than the teacher's drone and fumbling with my name. We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today. So soon. Hichan, right? Hichan? That's a good question. Where does that come from? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? It's just a surprise. I've never liked that nickname.
This is kind of confusing because I guess you need to have some Japanese background knowledge to understand that. So obviously Hichan is a common nickname for somebody called Hisao. And Shichan is a common nickname for somebody called Shizuni, maybe? Duh.
Alright. So she's rather the volcano, and she's obviously the quiet type. I don't really see how. It fits. You look just like I imagined.
Sign language.
Ha ha ha! Yeah, you look just like a Hichan. I wonder why everyone seems to think so.
Sign language.
Hakamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly. Their hands are blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants you to know that she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her.
Okay, school for disabled students. So she's deaf. And she must be like the worst case of ADD/borderline that I've ever seen. Sign language.
Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had the time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Familiarize? Why is that a question? Oh, because she's interpreting. Misha stumbles with the hard word a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just kind of came straight to class today.
Sign language.
Ha ha ha! That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there. Not just with school either.
Smart Alec.
Always, even if it's a trip to the convenience store. Really, Chi-chan? Ha ha! Learn about where you're going? Well, I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it, half-assedly, but anyway. I don't say anything, and Misha signs something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down. Are you okay?
Sign language.
Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal, as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed a test.
Misha's hilarious. I wonder if you can... This game is obviously about... well, social interaction. And as far as I know, you can go down several roads and get quite intimately attached to one of the many girls that run around in this school. I think Misha would be cool. I mean, imagine a girlfriend like that. And of course, you would have to form a trio because Shizune can't function without her interpreter, I guess. Unless everyone in this school knows sign language, which I can't imagine. Actually, getting into a relationship with any of these two would really cause an uproar, because it would naturally disrupt the two as a unit. And, well, Shizune's probably dependent on her, but maybe the other way around too. I don't know. She seems more like the analytical type, while she's like, yay! Alright! Wow! Yeah. Alright. Sign language.
She's cute. I mean, it's a cute drawing. And another thing. You don't have to call Shi-chan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shi-chan. Oh. Uh-oh. That.
I've watched Dragonster's first 20 episodes, but I don't remember this.
maybe that's not... She doesn't like... Oh, Misha said this without translators. It's not Shizune's offer, but she just said this. But how did she hear it? She translates everything she says? Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Okay, she didn't like that. That's alright. So this Shichan and Hichan, maybe that's like I don't know, maybe some sort of belittling version of your name. Like, I don't know, Jim and Little Jimmy, something like that. Sign language. Yep, Shizune is fine. Okay, that would be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assumed would be all business. Well, she still seems like that, just less so, I guess. Sign language with an exclamation mark. Huh? Oh, right. We haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work now, or Shichan will get mad. Look, if you call us Shichan, then I will get irritated because I'm not supposed to... Oh, anyway. The assignment is also kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. Hahaha, that too! Sign language. Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. Sign language. After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Ooh. Still, we finish it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class, despite our late start. Shizune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different, though. The class rep is as calm and professional as she looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. Oh, old-fashioned bell tower. 12 o'clock and all's well. Sorry. The clock tower bell rings. No, the clock tower bells ring. But that's not true. It was just one bell. The clock tower bell rings. It's not. It was just one. I distinctly heard that. The clock tower bell rings, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch. Time for lunch. That's good. So we'll stop here, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.